Dawn cracked loud against the battered windows, rain still drumming the roof like a warning nobody listened to. SlumG, perched cross-legged on the creaking floor and rubbing sleep from sore eyes, tried to stretch out the knots left by last night's damp mattress and the weight of another sodden day ahead. The room was a chaos of half-dried clothes, wires, and the old frog umbrella glowering in the corner. Outside, the monsoon roared like it wanted in. Spax Privet shuffled through the mess with a grin, tossing a cup of scrounged chai and a joke about survivor's honor, while the thinker hovered at the door, notebook in hand, firing off questions about flooded shortcuts and which boots lasted longest in the muck. For a second, as SlumG flexed aching limbs and fired back banter at chat, dodging the usual F-spam and a stream of tough love advice from Dizuo Kita Henry, he felt the heaviness of it all. Hunger twisting in his belly, tech on the fritz, the memory of dry, sunlit mornings that felt like they belonged to someone else. But the haphazard family in this cracked guest house, every shared story and dumb in-joke, kept the storm outside where it belonged, a reminder that survival was a team sport, and every new mess was just another round in the game. He braced himself at the guest house door, half expecting to slip on the slick steps, and sure enough, his foot skidded, drawing a laugh from Spax Privat and a volley of doggy-style yoga jokes through the battered walkie. The air hit him sharp, monsoon rain cutting sideways, gut-punch humid, the street already a river of brown water and floating wrappers. Slogger, hunched under a sagging awning, flashed a deadpan grin as he ladled thin stew into dented bowls. "Keep your eyes on the muck or you'll get banned. Last guy went knee-deep and lost his flip-flop to the sludge gods." SlumG shot back a half-hearted smile, the weight of the day pressing extra hard as he squinted through the rain for a path forward, hunger twisting tight and last night's memories of sunlight slipping further away. But when the thunker one darted past, boots squelching, and Spax Privet hollered, "Survivor's honor? Gee, don't let the monsoon see you sweat." He felt that flicker of hope, the old rhythm, spark up again. Adaptation wasn't just about staying dry or outpacing disaster. It was about letting the world's chaos turn into something almost funny and finding a way to keep moving, even when the rain tried to wash you off the map. SlumG ducked under the plastic tarp of the first bazaar stall, rainwater dripping from his helmet as the chaos of the soaked market hit him full in the face. Shouting vendors, the slap of bare feet in puddles, and the tang of wet canvas and street chai. Misanthropes under 23, wiry and sharp-eyed, was already at work, hawking battered chargers and cracked screen phones from a crate, pausing to size up SlumG's sad excuse for a rain jacket. "You streaming again, G? That thing's as waterproof as a sieve. Trade you a dry sock and a half-charge battery. What's your best offer?" SlumG grinned, but felt the pinch of the moment. Rupees were tight, and the chill worked under his skin, but Gurlayed chimed in with a shout from 2 stalls over. "Bro, pour water on it before you buy, or you'll end up wetter inside than out." The debate drew in a half-circle of survivors, each tossing out tips and barter tricks, the air thick with the smell of frying snacks and damp denim, everyone hustling to stay one step ahead of the monsoon. It was messy, loud, and a little desperate. But when Lila Punky squeezed through, beaming and waving a bright frog umbrella, the laughter that broke out felt like armor. In the bazaar's wrecked maze, survival was a team sport, and every soggy trade or makeshift hack stitched the group closer against the storm. Outside the market's riot of voices, SlumG steered his scooter into a flooded lane, boots splashing, only to slam on the brakes as a herd of cows blocked every escape. One massive brown beast, soaked and serene, stared him down like it owned the road. Hamilton Bone leaned from his chai cart, hollering, "Careful with that jersey. Gee, they'll charge you for style crimes." SlumG just rolled his eyes, then caught sight of a shivering puppy cowering at the curb, fur plastered flat by rain. He knelt low, offering a crumb of roti with a gentle hand, while Overkill Master 288 called from under an awning. "Brother, you got bigger heart than half these politicians." For a beat, the chaos faded. The calf's tail flicked, the pup licked his fingers, and under the monsoon's wild drum, that small act of kindness felt like armor against the world's mess. That's when the storm hit the tech. Signal blinking out mid-ride, calm freezing with SlumG's mouth half open, and his phone lighting up with that dreaded F from D. Dr. Henry before everyone else piled on. In the drizzle, crouched behind his scooter and rain pooling in the seams of his jacket, SlumG muttered curses at frayed wires and battered batteries, while Misanthrope's 123 shouted across the flooded lane, "Try swapping SIMs, G, or trade you a cable for half your lunch." Instead of panic, chat launched their old ritual. Wild F-time guesses, spammed emotes, and Slogger 6666's voice crackling through, "Don't focus on the noise or you'll get banned." It felt like muscle memory. Every dropout another round of collective troubleshooting, every back in chat a small victory. The mood shifted from frustration to this weird scrappy joy. Because in a world where the rain eats roads and the internet comes and goes like a ghost, adaptation wasn't just about fixing gear. It was about making the struggle into a shared, almost comforting game. By the time SlumG shuffled onto the Daman beach, the sky was bleeding gold through bruised clouds, and the sand looked like the aftermath of a lost bet. Plastic bottles tangled with seaweed, driftwood wedged against sodden flip-flops, scraps of festival paper softening in the surf. He barely had time to take it in before a new 11Y dropped a sub-bomb and the spin-the-wheel craze detonated, Life is a gamble cackling from his tarp-side perch, spurring the crowd on. The wheel landed on 20 squats, and suddenly, SlumG was front and center, jacket flapping as he dropped into the muck, each squat cheered by Danthaman, Mime 594 and Shadow Mark III, like it was the last Olympics on Earth. Slogger 666 heckled from the food cart. "Try not to pull a hammy, Yogi. The apocalypse medical plan's just buttermilk and a handshake." Even official Tindergate rolled up with a basket of steaming snacks, tossing one SlumG's way mid-squat and hollering, "Spicy enough to wake the dead." It didn't matter that the ocean reeked of diesel or that rain threatened with every gust. Somehow, in the midst of trash and routine ruin, those whooped-out squats and wild laughter made it feel like they were winning. If only for a heartbeat, turning survival's grind into a rowdy living ritual. And just like that, the challenge caught fire. Life is a Gamble's battered roulette got dragged from under his top and plunked down right in the muck, surrounded by a half-circle of survivors, shopkeepers, and random wanderers who drifted down to the shore for a break from the grind. Official Tindergate started up an impromptu quiz for snacks. Guess the Bollywood tune, "Win a chili pakora," while Slogger 666 jeered at the losers, tossing in lines about lost dreams and apocalypse chili burning twice, but still passing out extra stew for effort. Spax Private ran a round of scavenger tag with the Thinker one, both ducking between heaps of plastic and driftwood, shouting riddles as the crowd egged them on. Even the wiry Misanthrope's Conjanung T3 broke from his usual hustle and handed out duct-tape power banks as joke prizes, bartering for stories instead of rupees. For a wild stretch, the ruined beach wasn't just a dumping ground. It pulsed with music from a scratchy speaker, the stomp of feet, and 100 small dares shouted above the crash of waves, every laugh and groan weaving people closer, till the line between survivor and friend blurred into something stubborn and bright, a game that, just for tonight, kept the real end of the world at bay. Dusk laid its blanket over Damon's battered beach, and the last game faded into tired laughter and the scrape of flip-flops on wet sand. SlumG flopped beside the fire pit. Really just a circle of scavenged bricks and a couple flickering tin lanterns, letting the ocean's hush and the far-off rattle of scooters mix with the chatter of survivors. For a moment, he felt the ache in his legs, the gritty cold soaking through his jacket, and the quiet hunger for something lost. Home, maybe, or just a dry bed. Slogger 666A slid over a tin cup of stew and muttered, "You keep showing up, you keep getting fed. That's the deal here." Spax Privet handed him the frog umbrella, goofy and bright, and grinned. "Looks better in your hands, bro." Around the circle, rain-lit faces caught the lantern glow as stories and confessions passed between strangers. The day's F-spams and banter weaving into something stronger than the storm. A stubborn, awkward hope. The ruins didn't feel like the end anymore. Just the place where they'd learned to hold each other up, scrape meaning from the mess, and laugh back at the darkness till the next sunrise.